Hello again. This is the course of computer programming, and yeah, we are going to continue about the section 4 repetitions. So we already discussed about the repetitions, the while, do while, for loop, and also we already discussed about the nested loops. And for this video, we are going to learn about loop with conditional alternatives. In this section, we are going to learn about break, continue, some examples with repetitions like cumulative sentinel values. The break statement in loops, you may know the break statement from the conditional. Okay. In the switch statement, you know that break is a statement to stop. So if you have a various conditions using the case. For example, yeah, in switch you have case 1, case 2, case 3, and then if the condition is correct or the condition is true, then you will do one or two statements, and then you need to break in order to stop, and the next condition will not be applied. Okay, so in the loop we can also use the break statement. So the break statement can be used to end a loop immediately. So if you have a loop and then you want to stop in the middle of the process, then yeah, you can use break. The break statement ends only the innermost loop or switch statement that contains the break statement. Okay, so you know that the yes, break statement can be in the switch and is also applicable for the loop. Break statements make loops more difficult to understand. Okay, maybe you think that yeah, it's just stop, but if you put the break in the wrong statement, then it will be very difficult to understand. And use break statements sparingly, if ever. So there are two things in the conditional alternatives. Sorry, in the repetition alternatives, we have also the continue statements instead of break. So for a continuous statement, we are going to end the current loop iteration and begin to the next one. Okay. Text recommends avoiding use is it is introduce unneeded complications. Okay. So this kind of continue, yeah, you need to be careful when you apply it in your program. So I already give you the Java file, and let's check the example, the break and the continue example. We have test break and test continue. So I will go to the Eclipse, yeah, and if you already watch the video for the first session in the section 4, you know how to put those files. Okay, let's see the test break. Okay, this is a little bit complicated example. Okay, maybe yeah. Before this one, I will try to explain with a very simple example. Okay, so let's suppose I have the break example for this one. Okay, so if you have this break example and the continue example, let me make a new one. Sorry. Okay, so I will go back to this example later because it is a little bit complicated. Uh, I started to use a new example for you. So break example, yeah, and then I will make a new main class, main method, and then let me use this one. Okay, so I will use this one, and then I will check this one. Now, if you can understand this code for loop, now we are going to have one variable index, and the index is initialized with 1, and the condition is we want to check if the variable index is less than or equal to 5. And then every time we finish all the statements, we will add the index with 1 because we have index plus plus. So the if index equal to 3, that's break. Okay, what does it mean by break? Yeah, break means yeah, stop. Okay, so you can see if I run this example, you will have 1 and 2. Okay, after we have 3. Okay, so if the condition is true, then break, stop. We will not do the remainder, even though the condition uh, 3 is less than 5. Okay, and because it's 3 is here, then you need to stop. But what about if I change this into continue? Okay, so if you run, then you will see 1, 2, 4, 5. So the number 3 will be skipped. Okay, we will not execute when the index equal to 3, but we will continue until the condition become false. Okay, so that's why it's very you need to be very careful when you use this break and continue statement. So let me get back to the previous example about test break. Okay, so in this test break we have the main method and the sum equals to 0 and number equals to 0, and sum and number are integer. So we have the while here. The while here, I want to check the number, and the number is less than 20. If the condition is true, let's have the number plus plus. So we have one statement to add the value of the variable number with 1, and then sum plus equal number. Okay, you know that this is the sum equal to sum plus number. Okay, and you want to check if the sum is greater than equal to 100, then break. Okay, so I want to stop when the value of variable sum is greater than 100. Okay, so if it is still less than 100, you will do the loop. Okay, then if you run this, yeah, the number you stop at 14 and the sum equals to 105. Oh, why? Yes, because when the sum is less than 100, it will keep looping. And once the sum is greater than 100, then it stops. Okay, so the first number that is greater than 100 is 105. That's why it stops at 105. So we want to print the number, and the number is 14. So it means it is the like variable 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14. Okay, so if you want, you can sum all those number and the result is 105. And yeah, because 105 is greater than 100, it stops. Okay, now what about the continue? Okay, if you have the continue, yeah, it's similar with the previous example, but now yeah, it feels like if the number equals to 10 or the number equals to 11, then we want to continue. So we want to skip some numbers, so those numbers will not be added into the sum equals to sum plus number. Okay, so this is basically the same. Number plus plus is the statement to add this variable number with 1. Yeah. So that's the concept about break and continue. And as I mentioned to you, you need to be very careful when you use break and continue. Now we can do some kind of application with the break and continue. Okay, and let's see, this one is one example about guest number. Okay, so you can take a look on guest number. Oh, sorry, I guess we need to go to, oh, sorry, we already have this one before. Okay, you know the guest number. Okay, so the guest number is you need to guess some numbers, and if the number that you guess equals to the random number generated by the computer, then it stops. Okay, so at the time we just give the while loop with this one, with the condition. If the case is not equal to the number, then we will keep looping. If the case equals to the number, then stops. But how if we apply the break? Now we have this one. I guess you still remember the example. We have the math random. Here we want to multiply with 101, and we have the scanner. So we want to get the user's input, and you need to put the number between 0 and 100. As you know, the condition is true. Okay, so whenever the condition is true, then you will keep looping. Now you may have questions why we put here is true. Okay, because we want to execute this statement. Okay, the statement inside the while loop should be executed, so the condition should be true. But you will ask why we put true when we can get the false statement here. That's correct. That's why we will use break. So the break statement will be useful for this kind of program. So, but you need to be very careful. When you have this true statement, then you need to have at least one break. Because if you don't have break, then your program will keep running and running. It's a never-ending loop, or what we learned before about infinite loop. Okay. So the remaining of the statement are the same. So we are keeping the guess. Yeah. So if the condition is true, then we will keep guessing. The number or the input will be inserted into the variable guess. And if it is equal to the number, then yeah, we just print yes, the number is the number, and then break. So we will stop. If the guess is not equal to the number, then we will check whether the guess is greater than the number or the guess is lower than the number. Okay. That's the concept about the break in this application. The next, we want to learn about other things in loop. It is about the cumulative. Okay, so I would like to teach you two kind of cumulative. We can have the cumulative product and cumulative sum. So before we learn about the cumulative product, I would like to mention about some basic math function in Java. Let's say you already learned about math.random. Okay? What is math.random? Yeah, you learn this one. Math.random. It is a function to generate a random value between 0 and 1. But we have another other kind of functions. So I don't want to discuss other. There are so many functions in the math class, but I just want to focus only some of the important functions. For example, maximum. I want to get the maximum value. So if I have maximum 5,6, then the result will be 6, which is the maximum. Minimum, I want to get the minimum value. 5,6, then I will get the minimum, which is 5. So the value here, you need to have at two values. Okay, you cannot have more than 2, and you cannot have a value less than 2. So you need to have two values. Square root, so you want to get the square root of 4, for example, then the result will be 2. So the result will be a double value. And then let's say if you have the power, okay, power, it means the exponent. So 2 power of 3, so it is 8. Okay, so power, it means exponent. 2 exponent 3. And then the absolute means we have the negative number and we want to make it as a positive. Okay, so if it is -1, then we want to make it as 1. Round, okay, this is interesting. Okay, so when you have the mathematical operations, whenever you have the values is like 3.9 divided by some values, okay, so you will get the integer number only. Okay, so you cannot get the rounded value, but we can use the round, this one. Maybe we can use this round in order to make the nearest value of the decimal. So if you have 3.9, then it will go to 4. If you have 3.1, it will go to 1. Okay. So if you have floor, it means you will always go to uh, the largest integer. Okay. And if you're ceil, then you will go to the smallest integer. Okay, I guess I make something wrong in here. Oh, let me check. Okay. So if I want to, okay, I will use this break example. Okay. So let's see. I have the system dot product line, and then I have method floor. Okay, 3.9. So you can check this one. This one round, and you have also ceil. Okay, then let's see. Hmm. Yeah, actually floor is going down. Okay, so I think I made this one is mistake. Yes, 3. Okay, so floor means you want to return the smallest. Okay, and then if you are doing with ceil means the upper one, so you want to get the upper part. Let's see if I make it as the floor is 3.1. Of course the result is still the same with 1. If you have 3.1, then the round will be 3, and then if you have distance 3.1, then it goes to 4. Okay. Oh, sorry, I guess, yeah, I need to have the more this one. Yeah, so if you have 3.1 here, the floor will give you 3.0. Okay, and then if you're rounding, it means you will go to the nearest integer. Now it becomes 3. And if you have ceil, then you will go to the nearest largest integer, which is 4. Oh, sorry, not integer, but double. Okay, so those are the functions that you need to know. Now let's go to the example, cumulative product. Cumulative product here, yeah, you want to get the cumulative product. So the numbers will be multiplied with a constant, which is like this one, 2. And I would like to multiply for 20 times. So it means 1 multiplied by 2, and then we get 2. And then next is 2 multiplied by 2, then we get 4. And then 4 multiplied by 2, we will get 8. And then 8 multiplied by 2, we got 16. 16 multiplied by 2, we got 32, and so on until 20 times, because we are looping until 20. Okay, so if you run this, then the result is, yeah, that's the number. Okay, if you want to check this one 3, then yeah, the result will be, oh yeah, this one is still the same, power of 20, so it should be the number here. Okay, anyway, yeah, 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, the result is 8. Okay. What about the cumulative sum? So the cumulative sum is an example here. We want to accumulate the number. So if we have, oh yeah, you will have like this one. The input means the user's input, because we are using the scanner, and sum equals to 0. And then let's see, if I have 1 until 5. Okay, so I will be added by 1, and yeah, you can type a number. So every time you input a number, the number will be added by the previous number. So it will be accumulating. So if you run this, let's say I have 2, and then I have 5, and then I have 3, for example, and then I have 1, and then I have 2. Okay, the sum is 13. Okay, is it right? 2 plus 5, 7, 7 plus 3, 10, 10 plus 3. Okay, 13. Okay, so why there is only 5 there are only 5 numbers? Because we limit until 5 times. Okay, Now the next is, if we have the cumulative sum, but I want to break or I want to stop in the middle. Okay, so you can use the sentinel value. Okay, what is a sentinel value? You can check here. Yeah, the sentinel value means I want to limit the numbers into, for example, negative. So I just want to input positive number. I do not want to input negative. Then I will have the scanner input, okay, and then sum equals to 0, num equals to 0. And when the num is greater than equal to 0, so it means when the number is positive or at least 0, then we are going to type the number. So the number will be the input from the user, and then we will do the accumulative sum. So when will this loop stop? Yeah, when? Yeah, that's right. So it will stop when the condition is false. The condition becomes false, and when the number is less than 0. Okay, so when you give the negative, then it will stop. Okay, so let's see if I run type a number. So let's say 2, and then let's say I have 5, and then I say I have 3, and then minus 1, 9. Okay, so 2 plus 5 plus 3. Oh, something wrong. So minus 1 still be added in here. Okay, so that's why the sum becomes minus 1. Actually 2 plus 5 plus 3 is 10, and then minus 1 become 9. Okay, so can you fix this one? Can you fix this? So if I want to make it not minus 1, I want to make it as 10. How? Maybe you will ask, how we can get that one? Okay, so we want to get only the sum. Am I right? Okay, if you want to get only the sum, then whenever you finish with the input, okay, 2 plus 5 plus 3, okay, and then you don't want to insert with the last one, okay, because we have this in this condition. So after you do this one, after you do the input, and then after you do this summation, then you will get the result. So at the last one, I do not want to put the minus 1 into the variable sum. So how can I do this one? Yeah, okay. So please think, and this will be one of the discussion issues. Okay. So I will open the discussion issues, and you need to give your feedback like what you already did before. So the next example is about the Fibonacci number. So what is Fibonacci? So Fibonacci is a sequence, okay? This is a sequence where the two preceding ones are will be the result for the next number. For example, if I have 1 plus 1, then the result is 2. If I have 1, 2, so 1 plus 2, the result is 3. Okay, and then 2 plus 3, the result is 5. 3 plus 5, the result is 8. 5 plus 8, the result is 13. 8 plus 13, the result is 21. 13 plus 21, the result is 34. Okay, so the two numbers, the early two numbers will be the numbers that determine the next number. Okay, so how can you make this one into the Java code? So you can see the Fibonacci. Okay, the Fibonacci. So the initial values is 0 and 1. Okay, and I want to know how many Fibonacci numbers that you want to create. So the scanner class will be the first time, and then you will have the input n of Fibonacci number. So how many Fibonacci numbers that you want to print, and then you will have this variable num as the number, and then yep, you want to use the for loop. The first is 1, and then yeah, I have the next number. The next number equals to f1 plus f2. Okay, okay, and after you have this one, then I would like to put the f1 equals to f2. Okay, and the f2 equals to next. How can this one? Okay, select this one. So if I have the A and B and C, let's say C is the next, okay? So A plus B equals to C. Then what happened? You need to match that the next B will be the previous C. The next A will be the previous B. Okay. After you have A and B, then you can do the addition and the result will be C. And the next loop, you will do the same thing. So the A will become the previous B, and the B will be the previous C, and the new C will be the A and B. Okay, so it will be keep looping until you reach the N, the number that the user want. Okay, so if I enter like 20 Fibonacci, okay, then yeah, it will be very large number. So the last one that I want to explain to you is about confirmation dialog. Okay, so what is confirmation dialog? It is the sentinel control loop with the confirmation dialog. You can choose yes, no, and you can also choose to continue or terminate the loop. Okay, so we can use the sentinel values in confirmation dialog. Sentinel values in confirmation dialog. Okay. Now it's just a little bit complex, but actually it's not that complex. It is just only the text. So you need to understand the text. Now we have sum equals to 0 and then the option equals to 0. Okay, so the option is it is the basic from Java. If you are saying yes, okay, so later I will show you. If it is yes, then it is 0. If it is no, then it is 1. So if it is yes, then it will keep looping. Okay. So I want to enter some numbers. So are you going to continue? Yes. If you are going to continue, then you will input another number. So whenever you say yes, then these statements will be executed. But once you say no, then it will stop and it will go to the last one, which is the result about the summation. Okay. Okay, so you can have this. Enter value 5. Okay. Continue. Yes. If you have 2, continue. Yes. 3, continue. No. 10. The result is 10. Okay. So the result is here is just using the J option pane, and then we need to show input dialog. So this is the question that you saw before. So it is a kind of text or prompt. And after you have the values from the data string, okay, because it is using the panel, so the result will be a string value. Okay, and after you have the string value, you want to change the number, you want to change the input into a number, then you need to change the data string using this one. We call the class integer, and then you want to parse int. It means I want to change the string data type into integer data type. After you have the integer, then you will do the summation, and after you have the sum, the value of variable sum, you will ask you want to continue or not. If you want to continue, then it will keep looping for these statements, and if you say no, then you will stop, and then you will get the result, which is the sum. I'm not going to explain more details about this, but at least you can learn that the scanner is the input, and the input from the scanner class is in the console. But the J option pane is the input using the input dialog, so you can see the panel. Okay? And yeah, you need to explain about the dialog or the prompt in the console. So when we use the show input dialog, it means I want to show a prompt. In this case, I want to enter an input. And after you have the input, so you need to think about the big picture of this J option pane. So in the so show input dialog actually is not only about one statement, but you can also put them into the complex system like this one. For example, you have the enter a year. So it is the prompting message, and then dialog title. So the dialog title means this is the title of the panel. And then yeah, you can choose the J option pin. So whether it is a question message or it is the confirmation and so on. Sorry. So the idea is the show input dialog. Okay? So in the show input dialog, you can do with many options. For example, using the show input dialog, you can give another J option pin with the question message. Okay? So the X is a string for the prompting message and Y is a string for the title of the dialog box. Okay? And if you just using the X, it means you just want to get the values and then you will not do anything with the title and everything in the panel. Okay? So the X is a string for the prompting message. Okay, whenever you have the value from the J option bin, it will be a string. Please remember that one. Okay, I guess that's all. We already learned about loops, the while, to while, for loop, and then we'll learn about the nested loop. And at the last chapter, we learn about some alternatives about loops. And yeah, I would like to give you some more example. Okay, so this is the example to find the greatest common divisor. Yeah, we have the greatest common divisor. What is it? So you need to enter the first integer and you need to enter the second integer. I give you one. So the problem is write a program that prompts the user to enter two positive integers and find their greater common divisor. So the solution, if you are entering 4 and 2, then the greatest common divisor is 2. If you enter 16 and 24, the greatest common divisor is 8. So how can you find the greatest common divisor? So it means we have n1 and n2, those are the two integers, and you know that 1 is the common divisor. So every number can be divided by 1. But it may not be the greatest common divisor. So I will not include 1 because yeah, both of them can be divided with 1. So that's why for the for loop we will start from 2. Okay? And we will check if those two numbers, the n1 and n2, can be divided with the numbers from 2 until the last one. The last one means the n1 and n2. So here I have greatest common divisor, and then I will make it as 1, and then k equals to 2. Okay, so if k is less than n1 and k is less than n2, then I would like to check if the remainder is 0 from the n1 divided by k, and if the remainder of n2 divided by k is 0, then it is greatest common divisor. Okay, so if it is the greatest common divisor, so k, then I will go to the next k. I will go to the next case by adding by 1. So we will do the loop until all the n1 and n2. So this one until k equals to n1 or k less than equal to n2. So if the condition is true, it will keep looping. But if it is false, then it will stop. So when it stops, we can get the greatest common divisor for n1 and n2. And the number is the greatest common divisor. So you will check this one if you want to run. The first integer 6, let's see, and 4. So the greatest common divisor for 6 and 4 is 2. Okay. And the last example is about the tuition fee. Okay. So I want to know if we have the tuition fee for the student with $10,000 this year, and the tuition increased 7% per year. Then how many years that the tuition will be double? Interesting, right? Double. Okay. So let's say I have 10,000, and then I would like to measure with this increment 7 years. So the first year will be multiply with 1.07 as the interest, or this is the increment. Okay. And then I will go to the next year, year 2, by adding year plus plus, and so on until we will get the tuition double. So how can we get tuition double? So future tuition. Okay. So here we have the tuition fee is the 10,000, and then year 0, if the tuition is less than 20,000, so I want to know when is double. Okay. So if the tuition is still under 20, then we will do the multiplication. Tuition equals to tuition multiplied by 1.07, and then here will be added by 1. So the tuition will be doubled in particular years, and the tuition will be, oh, interesting, dollar sharp dot to f in modulo 1d years. Okay, what are they? Okay, maybe this is the first time for you to understand this one. Okay, so what is the percent? What is the percent? Okay, and I'm using f. Okay, so this f actually it is for the print format. Okay, so the f means the format. Okay, and what is the format? I would like to have the dollar. Okay, so the dollar will be, yeah, that one. Okay, there will be no change about the dollar, but I want to use the I think this is the what we call as the tag. Okay, so this is the tag of the first number, and then this is the tag for the second number. For the first number, I want to limit the decimal. So the decimal will be only 2, and it is a float number. Yeah, you can use the integer, but maybe the result will be different. And this one, what happened? Okay, so we have the percent d, percent 1d. Okay, so using the percent means I want to use the format printing. Okay, we have 2 with the percent. Then we need to also have 2 variables, because this variable, the float, represent the first one, and the second, which is this 1d, it is referring to the year. Okay, so the f means float, and d means integer. So the integer is only 1 digit. Okay, if I run, okay, the tuition will be doubled in the 11 years. So the tuition will be this amount. Okay, if you check, the tuition will be dollar. Okay, so the dollar is 21048.52. What about if I don't use this one? Okay, we have the dot 52. If I don't use this one, then you will have the, yeah, 519523. So it's a little bit longer. Okay, so if you want to just limit the decimal into 2, you can use this one. What about 1D? Okay, so 1D is just expression about the number. So if you want to have percent %d, okay, yeah, it's the same actually. Okay, so you can have 1D, 2D. Let's say if you want to have 4D, what happened? Yeah. Okay, there's a space. So 4 means the space equals to 4. If you are making the space is larger, then yeah, it will show something like this one. Okay, so that's all for this chapter. So I hope that you learn many things during this course, and um, I guess I will do with the online. So it means I want to meet you. Please keep checking the announcement. Okay, so I will update the announcement and I will let you know when is the good time for us to meet online and real time. Okay, so thank you very much for listening and see you on the next video.